from Deepwood Farms, and I am going to show you what you can make from our alpaca wool felting kit. And today we'll be showing you how to make a sitting alpaca. So in the kit, you'll get general instructions. You'll get a bunch of hand-carded, cleaned alpaca wool from our herd. This one specifically is from Diablo. You'll get a few colors of wool from, I believe this is sheep's wool, but it's roving, that you can add accents to things. You'll get a flat piece of felt, so you can create a bookmark or cut it up and make coasters, and needle felt some cute designs on it. There is going to be a couple bags of stuffing, which we will talk about how to use today. You will get a needle, so try not to poke yourself. There is a baseball card of one of the alpacas. This one specifically is Diablo. And then you're going to get a piece of foam, and this is how you start using this needle. Is everything is contained inside of it. So you're just gonna flip it on the inside, put it in like this, and then you're ready to go. So this is the business end of the needle, so it's very sharp. And there are barbs on here that's really hard to see, but as you're poking the felt into the foam, this is what's gonna grab onto it and start shaping it out. The alpaca we are going to make is going to be similar to Diablo. Diablo likes to sit with her legs tucked in under her. This one she's kind of being showy, but the alpaca we will make is with all her legs tucked in, which is only a couple pieces. So this is what it'll look like. Similar to the picture, only she's not presenting her leg. So this is the end result. All right, so you will take your stuffing. Now this is just general polyfill, and I really pack it into the bag, so we'll take it all out. There are a lot of YouTube videos on how to make a felted 3D object. A lot of them use like throwaway wool that people don't really want to put on the outside of their project, so they just use it as stuffing. I feel like this is cheaper, and I don't like using wool because it takes a lot of effort to make. So what you're going to do is form the body. So in this respect, it's going to be a bean. So we need to form it a little bit before we actually wrap the fiber around it. So what I like to do with the polyfill is to kind of roll it around in a ball first. And you don't have to form it perfectly. You just want to mash it all together. So after you form your polyfill or wool fill, you are just going to need to stab it a bunch of times. Stab, 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 stab. Lots of stabbing. And the easier way to do it is to kind of pinch it together and stab it. And it'll kind of start to stay. But remember not to stab yourself. Just keep going. It's kind of doing it a little bit, but once you have a general bean shape, you're going to take the really neatly folded piece of wool felt that I did. So you will take some of the alpaca wool, and you basically just wrap your shape into over the polyfill. And once it's wrapped, it's a lot easier to actually start getting to. this one, you can see that the bottom is flat, so it can sit like this, and the top, it's hard to see on camera, but I'm sure if anybody's ever touched an alpaca before, which sometimes it's hard because they're very scared of everything, but they have at the top of their neck, or just below their neck on their back, it's kind of triangular shaped down here. So to better hold the head on to the body, we will try to reenact that on the other piece. So as you're felting and poking, just keep that in mind. So this looks more like the rump, and the top of the body where the neck connects with the head is just a little bit smaller. So to make the neck, if you look at it, it's just kind of a long tube. So just rub it in our hands. Friction. Here. So here, just notice how I'm pinching it together. As I said before, there are barbs on the needles, so overlapping the fibers and pressing them into each other will help them grab onto each other. It may not seem like that at first, but you just gotta keep doing it. Alright, just like we did with the body, we're going to take some wool and wrap it around. Roll it up. Alright, so we need to clean up the body a little bit, but if you can see, you want to make sure that the body is there's a good ratio. So if you put together, you can start to see it kind of come together there. It looks pretty good. And we can always add more wool later on to cover up the white spots. But now we'll just work on this stuff. To attach the body parts, all you do is stab it together. So we'll keep it on here. So you just put it where you want it to go and start taking both sides and just stabbing it in. And it might not be in the right place right away, but you can force it that way. You'll just hold two pieces together, being careful not to stab your fingers, and just start getting in there. Eventually it'll hold on. So as you feel around, you can kind of feel empty space. So just focus on those areas to bring it in. And also make sure you set it up, and it looks like it's sitting actually pretty good. But if you want it to be, if you don't want it to fall over, you can just focus here and just make a little divot. Alright, for the head, you'll just need a smaller piece of polyfill. If you look at her head, it's mostly white, so we'll just cover basically a little bean-shaped piece of polyfill with white wool. So here again, roll it up into a ball. Check to see how it looks. general shape, get your alternate color. And remember, your alpaca can be whatever color you want it. So again, you just roll it up. And the alpaca face is mostly round. Just think of making it into the shape of a bean with one end slightly smaller than the head. So that's going to be the nose. We're doing the nose right now, so you'll just focus your needle around the nose. And basically as you go around, just kind of less stabbing. Then you're gonna put the head on the alpaca. So same deal as putting the neck on the body. Just attach it on there. But what helps me is squishing it all together with one hand. And keep in mind, it's not gonna be the final position. You just need to get most of it together. The next part is going to be making Diablo's top knot here. So to do that, you'll just take a couple strands and just curl it around in a couple ways, and since alpacas are super messy, you can make it look however you want. Part will be doing the ears. It's hard to even see that she has ears here, so all you gotta do is fold it up into a point onto the pad, and you're just making little triangles. And then you're going to take the ear and put it where ears go, beside the top knot, and then just attach it. Alright, so then you're going to compare the face. Now remember, we're making kind of a cartoon version of the alpaca, so different parts of her bodies can be emphasized. But in this case, it looks like it's a little bit short. Her nose is a little bit shorter than what I have here. So to remedy that, you can add a darker spot or some darker felt around where her face starts and her neck, her face ends and her neck begins, or you can just leave it the way it is. So after this point, the only part we're missing is her eyes. And the cool thing about alpacas is that they have a bunch of different facial features based off of the pattern of their wool. So in this one, it looks like her eyes are really big here. So I'm going to just use a another dark piece of felt, which will be the burgundy here. So all you have to do for that is pick off a little bit and just ball it all up, similar to the styrofoam, into a circle, which is, this might be a little bit big for her eyes, so we'll pull it apart here. And stab it in. Alright, so her nose is a little wonky here, so when you're finishing up, change the shape of everything. So we want to make her nose a little shorter, so just push her nose in a little bit and make it a little shorter. And then it changes the whole look of the project. And so all we have left to do is needle felting around to tighten everything up, and that will probably take the longest. Because you're just cleaning it up. So the more you felt, the tighter it will get. So the more you focus on finishing is just taking the time to actually press in most of the fibers, but here you go.